Meanwhile, somewhere in the logs.
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them.
Oh, God.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Glory be. Glory be to Garlemald!
Alright, I guess they shouldn't be getting near the towers. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life. Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing her that you await her coming, though I confess, I may have singed her a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. Huh. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord.
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
God damn. Unto the breach. Good news, sirs. Thancred and Urian J have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. Oh, I'm on 5.5 now, I believe. Yes, I am. Oh, get it close. Get it close. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? A welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Graha, and Ceres. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried, and I did try, repeatedly. But no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us? Indeed. Or just as Lee said, worse in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital had been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather, transform it. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magic tech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the palace like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Daniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. We have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. Oh no, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back home. On the way back. And I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter. As I promised Kryl, we need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As I wait to see you safely return from your mission, Urianger, I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Oh, it's you, yay, I knew it was you. Hardenwald, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Bro, you told me you'd be away on a mission. Who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. Let me remind you that we Elezen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our heart. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Orog such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Aye, it was not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions. Someone Brita towered over me nonetheless. Ironwald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? Both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Now? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. Got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Fordola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arnold rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. Oh my god, everybody's here. But nobody passes out again.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar, and that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked.
Glory to Garlemald.
Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telefforoi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
Is it me? You can't exactly be tempered. He has pants now.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of...
Yeah, Arnvald also has the echo. And she does have it also.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Guess when I'm going too. Oh yeah. Okay. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolver and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I a part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
Reminds
If
me
you
of
finished with your
Ardbert.
touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. we'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagltharn instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime.
Might look like he's 12.
No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Wow, wow, wow.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Bonanza.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Wow, let's hit to Ishgard then. Oh wait. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there's no time to lose. Carathis? Hello. Oh, present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces. The squares and the markets and whatnot. You and Ceres can delve into the nooks and crannies. Well, let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I should begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory. Or perhaps you could try the congregation? Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Wow. Hello. Good day to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. What then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? Looking for Estinian. I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. He came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I am afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Oh man. Ow. Brum 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 brum. Rahan Elazar here.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
That's not Alphino.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
That's oh no.
Quieter though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
Oh no. Oh no.
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
And when his ears perk up.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again.
Yeah, you got an earful.
What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them. You can't keep it all to yourself. I should have said that.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Yeah, man.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest, but confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
It's been quite some time since I set foot in Azizla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? That's not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Ceres is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us who have met Tiamat face to face. Let's just say it helped that Midgard swimmer was there to introduce me. Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. Wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. He said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me, feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Oh, wait. Tiamat awaits. This way.
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished. Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Are we gonna break her out?
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Sahaan, Seth Soul, King Bahamut, An Sumon, Na An Inles, Snaloles Dish An, Na Ala An Ul An Sin An, Stan In.
Ooh, we're gonna get the help of Tiamat. Nice. Well, we can save her from being enthralled, but how do we get the shackles out? Porksies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered. Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraint only to find that the process had failed, it would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Suppose we can find that information here? Why yes, we can. We can indeed. The Elegants kept detailed records on all their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We should leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphino and Ceres here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Cillian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step towards a brighter future. Now I would help Tiamat do the same. Together you're not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. Be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah yes, we're familiar with it. The Etherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you? I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. So I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories rise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to the restricted functions. Having identified me as being of royal blood, and armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you. Even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship then. Is that a thing in the middle? All the way up there? Wow. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. Do not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, or less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Alright, time to look for nodes. Oh god. Egg. Your data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause: intruder interference. Advise deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. What? Ow. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Bzz. Oh god. You found one. Blip boop. Warning. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in negative 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. What's that called? Clamorous node? I'm afraid Sadie and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you wear anything? A note that smelled like burnt hair. A chirping note was potentially warmed by the dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. They say it is indeed the node of which Garaha spoke. And it was chirping, you say? Very well, let us take a closer look. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? Blip boop. You do not have the requisite access privilege. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with the vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. The new user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Loop. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Yeah. Alphino Levier. I don't think he'll... Did I say like... Oh, I'll say my own name. But welcome, Sarah Serene. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanism when ready. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen. Tiamat. A system update is required. System update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? To snatch it to pieces. I could hazard a guess. That's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. Can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. And gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without. Beep beep boop. Loop. Guiding user to terminal. This way, please. Bum bum bada bum. Oh god. Oh fuck. Why? Software version 42.002, of course. With warning errors detected in the data management system. Estimated time required for update 5 years, 1 day. 5 years? That is rather longer than we were hoping. Aren't there any other options? For instance, using this terminal to operate TMAT's restraints instead? The proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be accurate. Well, I can't imagine it will have changed all that much. As long as we pay due attention to any discrepancies, I dare say we shall be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain, just tell me if we made any progress. I would say so, yes. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link pro once I am ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured, I'll be certain to return it to Grahatia once this is over. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. But before we go any further, there's something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Allegan Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Asians. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All that the Asians touched turned to ash. Thus have you made it your mission to fight them? But there have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, to find common ground. And so I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? I will try, yes, and if that fails, I'll remember him. See little points in reasoning with the wretch, or remembering him for that matter. Perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it be but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. Think us unwise for viewing the world thus? Far from it, that has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Iceheart. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view compassion as a weakness to be exploited, and there may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. So, save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Alphano has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. Now let's go back towards them. Wow. She's got the porksy out. Justinian told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. Think Alpha knows absence that he needed elsewhere. Well, that all sounds rather frustrating, but you got there in the end. While you were talking to nodes, Graha and I were learning as much as we could about Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirmed that her ethereal balance leans strongly towards the umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of ether with which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required if we are to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Meaning, I'll need all the ether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic. It means that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. He would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk, it's time to put our theories to the proof. Tell Alphano to disengage the restraints Ethereal dampers. Counting on you, Angelo. Ah, such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. What are these? Visions of days long forgotten? Of war with the men of Alag? Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul to its pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her to recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Ceres, she trusts you. Speak to her. Ask her to tell you of times past. Tell me of Bahamut and the Ascians. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved, would that the peace we found in Meracidia could have lasted for eternity. Alas, it was not to be. The Ascians saw to that, in all creation, I know of none more wicked. It was at their behest that the men of Alec first came into Meracidia, to our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would come to be known as Meracidia by the children of men, so many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest. Kin to the trees, surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of the Charlean scholar of Arusha. He posits that man first settled on the southern continent towards the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, it would appear, if only she were with us to hear the tale from Tiamat herself. Again, Angelo. When first the children of man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of dragon kind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing even more of their brethren, and divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem. Then they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man. Blood was answered with blood, and none could see an end to the strife. Till one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him, presiding over the affairs of men, the land knew peace once more. Alas, those golden days of harmony too were fated to end. For the men of Alec slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Ascians. The rest thou knowest only too well. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. My sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear when this is over. Keep going, Elsie. The magic is working. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. No patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. Oh, we're close. I can feel it. And while I only got a few more drops of ether left to give, with yours and Graha's, this will work. I believe I speak for both of us when I say that you may take as much as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here I go.
No! I'm almost there! This is it, Angelo!
Oh, did it work?
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Task in Santal Ankin in way.
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
Ankin. Slosk an all fall kail an. Slosk seth som in an. Aften. Mon ud. One ein. Lis an. Do ud an.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
She's in an enemy.
Alphino's ready. It's time.
Let's do this.
Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
Bahamut an Ul Jas. Ul Asa. Fesk an.
By the gods!
Urianger, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way.
What's up?
It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan. He flies for the largest Amalja settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
Uh-huh. Well, I'm sure you're desperate to join Estidian and Tiamat in battle, so it'd be wiser to gather the full strength of the Scions first. The foe we face demands no less. I have already sent word to the others. We are to rendezvous in Ul'dah at the Hall of Flames. Let us collect Alphinaud and be on our way. I gotta sneeze, hold on. Sneeze, sorry, I got all choppy there. Bow, bow, bow. Hey, look, we're right here. Now, I know some of you could do with a rest, but I'm sorry to say that Telephoroi have other plans. Paglathon is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defensive effort, with Marshal Terrapin at their head. Well now, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanates would respond. It's good to hear that Ul'dah has not abandoned the Amalja. Abandoned them? Did we not profess to be their friends? Ooh, hello. What's this one? Your Grace! Marshal Terrapin had made provisions for such an exigency and was ready to depart at the moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement of the Syndicate, each of whom voted in favor of intervention. Nor is Ul'dah alone in its resolve. The other alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Paglathon. Yet, even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested, for we face not only the might of an Imperial Legion, but Lunar Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured, but not all of the omens are grim. Our forces report that despite their proximity to Lunar Bahamut, none of the Amalja show any signs of tempering. Strange, what primal would turn down a chance to claim new thralls? Unless it is incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Asking or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from those we have previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Sarah's and others like her wouldn't have to shoulder the burden alone. Be that as it may, Lunar Bahamut remains an incalculably powerful foe whom our soldiers will struggle to best through mere force of arms. With the aid of the Scions, however, I believe they will fare rather better. Assuming, that is, you are ready to take to the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you are able. I, meanwhile, shall continue to coordinate our forces. The next we meet, may the 12 bless and keep you. It was kind of her to speak with us personally. You may be certain she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I, for one, am inclined to do as her grace requests. Lest we forget, Armenvald and Fordola are in Paglathon on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances. Indeed. To the airship, then. Let me guess. Greetings, we've been expecting you. But say the word and we should depart for Paglathon at once. Paglathon now accessible. I'm going to guess that I won't be able to do it. Yep. 490. Oh, I think with that, then I'll leave it there. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it there for now. Take care, buddy. Watching. See you all next time. Goodbye.